Once upon a time, there was a girl called Cinderella. She lived with her kind and loving father since her mother passed away. As time went by, Cinderella's father decided to remarry. Unluckily, he remarried to a pretty yet cruel woman. Cinderella had her stepmother and 2 stepsisters. Her stepsisters were cruel inside and comparably ugly outside. One was tall and skeletally thin, and the other was short and obese. Stepmother made Cinderella handle all the housework, such as cleaning the cinders from the fireplace every day and night. Stepmother and stepsisters teased at Cinderella of cinders because she was covered in ashes all the time. Her stepsisters did not have to do any chores since Cinderella took care of all of them. They could do anything they wanted to do. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters were jealous of her beauty and kindness from the bottom of their hearts. Everyone adored Cinderella's shining hair and glittering eyes. All of the people truly liked Cinderella, except her stepmother and stepsisters. They kept her busy with housework every day, so no one outside the house could see her beauty. One day, a server from King's Castle visited Cinderella's home. "Knock, knock. Go and open the door," ordered by stepmother. Cinderella opened the door and found that the young man was holding a precious envelope. He passed the envelope to Cinderella. It was an invitation from the king. "Silly girl, give it to me," Cinderella's stepmother said and snatched the invitation. She began to read aloud, "The king and queen sincerely invite you to a palace banquet to celebrate with the prince, the only son of the kingdom. The prince wishes to meet all the lovely young ladies and seeks a wife." What about me? Can I go, as well?" Cinderella whispered. "The prince said he wants to meet all of the young ladies of the kingdom." "How dare you, little dirty girl! You are way far from this elegant banquet," said stepmother. Stepmother's cruel words made Cinderella cry in her tears. She could only hear of her stepmother's and stepsister's preparation to the palace banquet. All the fine gowns and nice pieces of jewel were there for Cinderella's stepsisters. On the next day, Cinderella was busy helping her stepsisters to the palace banquet. She cleaned their beautiful gowns, dressed their hairs and fetched their shoes. She even helped them wear their jewels. After stepsisters set off to the palace banquet, Cinderella found a sock knock at the door. There was an old lady in silver hair and silver cape outside her house. "I am fairy godmother and I am here to help you attend the palace banquet," said the old lady with a sincere smile. "Isn't it impossible?" cried Cinderella. "I am in heavy dirt and my dress is even old." Fairy godmother shook her magic wand and turned Cinderella into a shimmering blue ball gown. "But, how am I supposed to go to the palace?" whispered Cinderella. It seemed like a dream to her. Fairy godmother shook her magic wand again, and a pumpkin turned into a nice coach. The mice next to the pumpkin became coachmen. Thanks to Fairy godmother, Cinderella went to the palace. Cinderella could not believe in her eyes. The banquet was the best thing she had ever seen. There were flowers all over the palace and fabulous music filled in the air. The dancing on the floor was one of the best elegance in Cinderella's life. "May I dance with you?" Cinderella heard a voice from her back. She turned around and accepted the invitation with a smile on her face. She was so nervous and excited when she knew it was the prince. The lovely couple caught everyone's attention in the banquet and they danced all night long. The prince found himself falling in love with this beautiful lady in his eyes. He wanted to know more about her and asked her many questions. But Cinderella could not stop thinking about her life in cinders and ash. When Cinderella heard the clock strike 12, she remembered Fairy Godmother's reminder and left the banquet. Cinderella rushed back to her pumpkin coach and quickly went home. As soon as she was back in her house, her pretty gown was gone and she was left in her dress of rags again. The pumpkin and the mice became who they were again. The next day, everyone in town was talking about the young lady that the prince felt for. The prince vowed to marry the lady who could wear the glass slipper, which was left in the banquet. He went to search every house and invited every lady in the kingdom to try on the shoe. Eventually, the prince visited Cinderella's house. Stepmother and stepsisters were very excited and eager to try the glass slipper. "Will you try on this precious slipper too?" asked the prince to stepsisters. The prince noticed Cinderella was standing aside. "My lady, will you try on this slipper?" Stepmother and stepsisters teased at Cinderella again. She didn't even go to the banquet. She was doing the cleansing all day. It could not be her. Cinderella just quietly sat down and put her foot into the glass slipper. It was a perfect match. The prince gazed into Cinderella's charming eyes and realized she was the pretty lady he met the day before. After that, the prince and Cinderella had a grand wedding. The whole kingdom was celebrating for them. Cinderella also forgave her stepmother and stepsisters, and all of them lived happily ever after.